Hello everyone, we are going to be looking at the upcoming two major snowstorms to hit portions of the South and the Mid-Atlantic. However, before we could get into the forecast, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new and turn on post notifications so you won't miss a single one of these updates or live streams on these upcoming winter storms. Right now we are currently looking at the GFS Future Radar. As you can see, we could see some snow over portions of the Northwest and the Midwest over today. However, if we move forward here to around 6 a.m. tomorrow, February 9th, and as you can see, we're seeing a big area of snowfall over here in portions of the Mid-Atlantic moving into New England here. We're starting to move into around 3 p.m. tomorrow, and you're starting to see some pretty heavy snow hitting portions of New England now, and that moves out of the area by around overnight of February 9th. And as we move forward even more, you can see another system over here on February 10th, another snowstorm hitting portions of the Midwest, and that soon moves into the Mid-Atlantic area, and you definitely could see a couple inches coming from that snowstorm as well. However, the biggest snowstorm that is expected here is going to be, and there's also another system right there, strengthening, about to bring this pretty major snowstorm hitting portions of the west here, and now the south as we head into around February 13th, around 9 a.m. And as you can see, a lot of area of heavy snowfall over here in portions of the south here, and that's including also portions of northern Texas. Dallas area definitely could see a bit of mix and snow there. And we're moving forward even more, and that snow really stalls there. Dallas, Fort Worth definitely could see a pretty heavy snowfall around 3 p.m. February 13th. And we're moving into the overnight hours now of the 13th. This is going to be around 9 p.m. of the 13th. As you can see, some very heavy snowfall hitting portions of Arkansas, and now moving into portions of Missouri and Illinois. We're starting to see even some mix and ice down here possible over here for portions of the southeast. Now moving into around February 14th, you're starting to see some pretty heavy snowfall hitting portions of the Ohio Valley. Now moving into portions of the Mid-Atlantic, as you can see, very heavy snowfall over here. If we do have some pretty high winds, we definitely could see blizzard warnings in some of these areas. This is going to be some pretty heavy snowfall, and you definitely could see upwards of a foot of snowfall for some of these Mid-Atlantic areas here. Now moving into around February 15th, and that snow really starts to move out of the area for February 15th. The latest European model also agrees with this same winter storm happening. A little less snow over here for portions of the south, but mainly the same amount of snow. As you can see, very heavy snowfall hitting around 12 a.m. Time frame is a little bit different. It is showing it's going to hit more for next week than later this week. It's showing around February 17th hitting the Mid-Atlantic, so it's going to be a little later according to the European model, but still about 2 or 3 days off, so that's definitely not very big of a difference, and that moves out of the area by around the 18th according to the European model. Now the Canadian model is around a day short of the European model, and as you can see, it's showing the Canadian model is going to show more snow over here for portions of the Midwest than more of the Mid-Atlantic. Of course, the GFS and the European model have the snow a little more south than the Canadian model. It does have it a little more heavier too, as the GFS and European has it heavier too over here in the Mid-Atlantic. And it also has another system forming just behind that winter storm around the 17th. As you can see, we definitely could see some snow over here for portions of the southeast for next week. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Now, the snowfall, according to the Canadian model, and it's showing around 4 to 6 inches of snowfall. So definitely not a lot of snowfall according to the Canadian model. But of course, if we go ahead and look at the European and GFS model, let's go ahead. Of course, those are those two snowstorms hitting portions of the Midwest and the Mid-Atlantic. And you can see definitely a pretty good amount of snow according to the European model, up to a foot of snow from that snowstorm hitting around the 11th or 12th there. But as we move forward for this big snowstorm, we definitely could see upwards of 3 to 4 inches of snowfall over here in western Texas, even upwards of 5 to 6, maybe 7 inches of snowfall. In Oklahoma, definitely could see around 3 to 4 inches of snowfall as well. And as you can see, this is when the snowstorm hits the mid-Atlantic, so we definitely could see upwards of a foot of snowfall and even more than a foot of snowfall here, according to the European model. And of course, this is a week out, so things are definitely going to change here. But the fact that it is already showing this amount of snowfall coming from this winter storm, of course, this is added on to the other winter storms. So that's why I'm subtracting a little bit. But definitely could see up to a foot of snowfall, especially for more of the mid-Atlantic areas. But more the northern Ohio, maybe Michigan areas, 6 to 7 inches of snowfall will definitely be likely from this upcoming winter storm. Now, the GFS models are going to show around also up to a foot of snowfall, a little more south than the European and Canadian models, as you can see there, and definitely could see 2 feet of snowfall added on to the other 2 winter storms. So that snow doesn't melt in time. That definitely could add on to the snowfall that already hits there. And it is showing a bit more snowfall for over here in the south. 6 to 7 inches of snowfall is showing over here in portions of Texas and Oklahoma, rather than the European and the Canadian. Of course, take this forecast as a grain of salt. This is gonna change in the upcoming days. But if you do want the latest updates on this upcoming winter storm, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you will get notifications every time a update is posted on the channel, as well as sharing this with your family and friends will be very much appreciated, as it will get the information out there as soon as possible. But anyways, stay safe.